Hello students. So continuing with the previous lecture about the asexual reproduction, we'll be dealing with another type of asexual reproduction which is known as vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. I'll be dealing with this topic in the form of a flow chart. So vegetative propagation, it is of two types, natural and artificial. Now first of all we'll be completing the natural vegetative propagation. Now natural vegetative propagation, in this many plants they propagate naturally by their stem, root or leaf. They have got many different types of structures which help them to perpetuate. Now the main, as we have mentioned here, stem, root and leaf are three possible parts which help in natural vegetative propagation. The first one we take up is stem. Now propagation by stem, it occurs in plants like runner, ginger, in which there is a rhizome, then potato, a tuber, then mint, again a rhizome. Now these words like rhizome, runner, sucker, tuber, all these words we are familiar because we have dealt with them in +1. Now how do they propagate? I have shortly tried to explain you here. Now the main thing that these stem propagules should have in them is buds or nodes. Like in runner, like dhoop grass, there you can see at nodes there are leaves and at the same place some roots they come out. Now if this dhoop grass gets separated from each other, they can produce another plant. Similarly, you might have seen in ginger there is a small bud. Now this bud is capable of giving rise to a new plant. And again, now coming to potato, a tuber, where you will find that there is small notches in the tuber which we call as eye, and they actually contain a bud. And you must have also seen that these buds, if the potato is kept for a long time, they give out or they sprout out and they give out stems with leaves. So this is how a stem will help in propagation, that is vegetatively and naturally. We don't have to do anything here. Only plant has its own ways of propagating. Then next we come to propagation by root. Now roots, they modify themselves and they help in formation of new plants. You have seen like dahlia and then sweet potato. There the roots get swollen due to storage of food, and these roots, they act as propagules or they act in formation of a new plant. Then we come to another third part, that is leaf. Even leaf helps in vegetative propagation. Some plants, they propagate by leaf. We call them as vegetative leaves also, and we also call them as reproductive leaves. Now these reproductive leaves, like in case of bryophyllum, the leaf possesses small buds which fall on the soil and they form a new plant. Like you can see in the diagram, the notches of the bryophyllum leaf has got small plantlets, actually we can say. Now these plantlets or the buds, when they fall on ground or soil, they give rise to a new plant. Now this is about the vegetative propagation by natural method which plant actually adopt. Then we come to the second type of propagation, that is artificial. Here we exploit the totipotency of cells. Now when I say totipotency, that means every cell has the capacity to make a new plant. Now this is something, a very detailed study which we will be dealing in tissue culture. Here I will be dealing only how artificial reproduction can be performed. Now the vegetative parts of the plant which bear meristematic tissue, they are used to propagate plants. And how they are done? The first one is in the form of cuttings. You have seen in our daily life also, we take cuttings of plants like rose or even like sugarcane, and then we sow them in the soil in such a way that their node is under the soil. You can see here in this plant, node is under the soil. Because node has got meristematic tissue, it will strike out roots, and these roots will help in formation of a new plant. Now, then we come to next, that is grafting. Grafting is a technique where we can attach a better variety to another plant. In this, the plant which is rooted in the soil, that is known as a stalk, and the cutting which is to be added to this stalk is called scion. That is the better variety plant. Like here in this diagram you can see the plant, potted plant, is the stump is acting as stalk, and the part which I am going to add here would be the scion. And then we attach them, and then they are bound by some polythene, and thus the two tissues, they get joined and they help in formation of new variety on a previous plant. Grafting can be of different types, like the first one, which is tongue grafting. Here you can see that it is something like a tongue that is to be inserted into a cavity here. Then wedge grafting, where you can see there is a wedge shaped structure of the scion, and the stalk is having the similar cut in the stump. Then bud grafting. In this technique, we take a small bud and we add it on the stem near the node and cover it. Then the third one is layering, a very important one. Now this layering, in this also nodes are covered by soil while the stem is still attached to the plant. Here we don't separate the stem from the plant. It is still attached to the plant and we cover it by soil. Now it is done in two different ways. One is mound layering. As you can see here, we take a stem and just make it touch the ground and we put a heap of soil over it. This will help in striking roots here and you will get eventually a new plant. Then air layering. In air layering, you see that is at a node, we scrap the node a little bit and then we add moss. We add moss around this place because moss is capable of absorbing moisture and keeping the place moist so that roots could be struck out. So this air layering, that is stem, you can see still attached to the plant and it is being again scratched and covered by moss and then by a poly tape. Now this is called gutti. Now these are the different ways by which we are capable of artificially making or propagating plants. Then we come to now conclusion, that what are the characteristics of asexual reproduction. Just going through, we have seen number one, that is they are uniparental. Single parent plant or parent animal is capable of giving rise to a new organism. No gametes are formed. Thus, there is only mitotic division. Mitosis occurs during the reproduction. And parental characters are maintained in the next progeny. Because it is by mitosis, so all the characters which the offsprings will have will be similar to the parents. Then, the offsprings are morphologically and genetically similar. We have already talked about a clone. It mostly occurs in lower organisms, that is in simpler organisms, as we have discussed previously, like in algae, in unicellular plants, in fungi. And it is a faster way because here there is no time wasted in formation of gamete or fusion of gamete or development of a embryo. Then, now I have given you some exercise, that is why reproduction is essential, what is vegetative propagation. You can draw a flow chart, then write 6 characteristics of asexual reproduction. So I will be expecting that you will be answering all these questions and you can also send your queries to me. Thank you.